We are on the road to Los Angeles 2028. We continue with the first game of the second session here at the USA Lacrosse Experience from Carroll Stadium on the campus of IU Indianapolis. Alongside Mitch Belisle, I am Glenn Clark. And our first matchup this afternoon sees the Colombia men take on the men from Great Britain. Earlier today, Great Britain fell 16-14 to Puerto Rico, while Colombia dropped a 25-7 decision to Team USA. So these teams trying to get their first win of the weekend here this afternoon and make sure they don't go 0-for on their trip to Indy. Great Britain in the red shirts, the blue shorts, the white numerals, and white helmets. Colombia in the yellow shirts, the white shorts, the blue numerals, and the white helmets. Colombia moving right to left on your internet dial. Great Britain left to right as we are underway. Mitch, Great Britain really put up a great effort in the first game of the day, and I would think that they would be, at the moment, the better of the two sides. But I think this could be an intriguing battle this afternoon.
Yeah, I was really impressed by some of Colombia's scores against that really tough United States defense. They scored early and often. It was a 5-4 first quarter, so I'll be curious to see what they can do here as they match up against a Great Britain offense that really likes to continually move.
And a great movement there right in front. And it's an easy tally for Alex Russell, who gets Great Britain on the board first.
No, that was a pipe, Glenn.
It was a pipe.
It looked like it went in, but it fired out quick.
Man, we even moved broadcast locations so I could improve this and everything. I thought that was a goal.
That one came out hard off the pipe. I saw the shake of the cage there.
Well, my apologies. Hal Jobang gets the start and goal this afternoon for Great Britain. And a move in front. That one, I'm almost certain, is a goal.
I saw the old onion bag bulge there. Yeah, that was absolutely a goal.
Mandel Franco gets Colombia on the board for the first time this afternoon. They draw first blood here in this matchup. Great Britain looking to answer right back. And another good feed. Is the flag going to come out? Don't see. Of course, it's not flags, it's cards here.
Sure.
I know that.
That was contact that I thought for sure would provide, at least something there. I thought because the player fell down, they would give the 30-second push there.
Pomfret, the one taken down. Now the opportunity for Colombia the other way. A couple of dodges. Tabor shoots high and he scores. Ryan Tabor with his first of the afternoon and a hot start for Colombia. Kind of reminiscent of the first quarter they played against Team USA when they scored 4 goals and were battling them.
Exactly. They came out hot, thought maybe we're going to give United States a run for their money, but then the U.S. kind of started to settle in and spread out. We'll see. I thought Britain did a nice job on their first 2 possessions getting good looks. They just weren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, it's a great point. They did get great feeds to the front, just neither one of them turned into a goal. Now back at X, and the feed cuts the middle, shooting and scoring. First of the afternoon for Drew Bickerton. He had 2 goals, 2 assists, and 4 points against Puerto Rico. And Team Great Britain is on the board. Get it right back. Chance to tie things up. Fed down, and the whip. Dan Jones.
There's the outside shot that they've been looking for. That's when you keep feeding the crease, which they've done the last 3 possessions. Then you start to open up those outside skip passes. They do just that, and Daniel Jones, not the Giants quarterback, lets it rip.
Well, we don't.
I shouldn't say we don't know. We don't
right.
know. We probably would have heard.
I feel like that would have been in the news.
Might have come up.
Yeah.
Might have come up.
They might have talked about it in the papers. Coming the other way, Corey Tiest. And that one easily taken in. Outlet pass, Mills Doig scores for the first time.
And great recognition by Mills Doig to just cut out as soon as that shot was taken, so that way there was no issues.
Mills Doig puts Great Britain back in front for the first time, that is, this afternoon, 3-2. So 3 unanswered goals for Great Britain after Colombia scored the first 2. How do they respond? Haas Janos sends it to the opposite side. Racing in. Kincannon bounces it in. Alex Kincannon. Spent a lot of time talking about him during their first game Finished at Hofstra after 4 years at Hopkins. 46 career collegiate goals. Had 2 earlier today against Team USA. Gets on the board for the first time this afternoon to make it a 3-3 game.
Not the biggest guy. He stands 5'6", but he does a nice job of using his body to get down that alley right there. And I think those alley shots, a little bit different than field. It's a more high risk because if you miss the net or if the goalie saves it, it's going the other way and you're low, so you're not able to get back on defense. But when they go, they look nice.
1 minute penalty on Hostjanos and no goal crease.
So Bunio has stepped on that white line.
So an opportunity for Colombia to work some more time off this penalty. Still the better part of 40 seconds on the penalty to Hostjanos. And did they not get it over?
So you have 10 seconds to get it over that midline.
And so another feed in front, and this one that's going to count for Lyndon Bunio. Man-up goal for Bunio. He had 3 goals, 4 points earlier today. Makes it 4-3, and they get it right back. Penalty does not release, so still man up right now for Great Britain. A chance to extend further. Feed underneath, and Bunio dives in front and scores.
Bunio using that box extension. He played box at the World Lacrosse Box Championships just a few weeks ago. Became the all-time leader for England box there, and now he's showing why with a little bit of nifty crease work down low.
Second goal of the game for Lyndon Bunio. Makes it 5-3, and they score 2 in the man-up situation. Colombia looking for an answer. Sheedy wraps around, gets in front, shoots wide, and yeah, it doesn't matter. Some old habits die hard. You see Kincannon stick out looking to get some backup, but there is no backup to be had in sixes. You miss the shot, it goes the other way.
Much like basketball, last touch, so if it does touch a defender, it'll go back to the offense, but they lose the shot clock points that they had lost so far, or seconds, I should say.
Great Britain trying to extend the lead. Collins. Yes, sir.
Wow, the catch and the shovel over the shoulder for Tommy Kirkland.
Kirkland's first of the game. Kirkland did not score early today in that 14-goal outburst against Puerto Rico, so his first goal of the tournament. England now in front 6-3, running shot, not on target from Mandel Franco, and very punishing in this version of the sport to be missing shots, essentially the same as turnovers.
Colombia really hasn't run a settled offense. They've kind of tried a quick strike here or there. But they haven't been able to find a little bit of a rhythm where they're moving as we go behind the back there.
Why not? Give it a shot, huh? Style points.
I don't hate it, Daniel
That
Jones.
counts for more, doesn't it?
I don't hate it, DJ.
Colombia now. Got to get it over in 10 seconds.
England's putting a lot of pressure on that ride. We
Far
talked
more
about
than we saw earlier.
The full court press kind of forecheck.
And the shot from wide. That one was tipped, so it's going to stay down here. Hostjanos. And if it hadn't been, and they had given it right back, I think Oscar Daniel Castillo-Morales might have thought about wringing someone by the neck. Not seriously, but I can only imagine the frustration of 3 straight possessions leading to missed shots and essentially turnovers. Kincannon from back behind. Kincannon, who shakes with the fake behind the back.
Yeah, the fake BTB is shoulder-to-shoulder contact. You're not allowed to body check. That was a great example of good shoulder-to-shoulder contact and a nice pickup and feed right there from Corsell to Haslano.
Hostjanos scores the first time today to cut it to 6-4, but Corsell doing so much great work on that play in order to make it happen. 6 seconds left. Great Britain's got to go in a hurry into the middle, and they get it. Michael Pomfret from Bickerton. Pomfret, his first of the game, and Great Britain makes it 7-4 here at the end of the first quarter. Quarter number 2 coming up from Indianapolis. You're watching the USA Lacrosse Experience.
Sometimes it's not the moment. It's the moment before the moment. The moment you make a choice. The moment you take control. The moment only you can own. Gainbridge lets you invest on your terms. So you're not only in charge of this moment, but all the moments to come. Start investing now at Gainbridge.io.
Lyndon Bunio with a pair of goals in the first quarter. Drew Bickerton with a goal and 3 assists for 4 points. Hal Jobang making 3 saves in quarter number 1. And Team Great Britain has a 7-4 advantage here as we start quarter number 2. I'm Glenn Clark. He is Mitch Belisle. We are happy to be with you and appreciate our hard-working ISC crew making this broadcast possible from the USA Lacrosse Experience in Indianapolis. What'd you like most about what Great Britain did in the first quarter, Mitch?
I think you look at the Bickerton triple apples, the 3 assists. They were sharing the ball. I thought they did a nice job of feeding from behind to cutters coming down. And even from feeding from up top, that is going to open up those over-the-top outside shots. And speaking of outside shots, Alex Concannon firing things up for Colombia right away.
Second of the game for Concannon right off the face-off win. Cuts it back to 7-5. Boy, we have seen that an awful lot today. Face-off wins turning into quick transition opportunities, both on the men's and the women's side. I feel like the more experienced players get with sixes, they're going to have to come up with answers to prevent those transition chances off of face-off wins. What a save.
Big save.
What a save. Ian Carvajal got the start and goal today for Colombia after he played just 4 minutes behind Oscar Cifuentes against Team USA earlier, and he absolutely stones Tommy Kirkland.
It looks like Great Britain's dropped into a zone here, so they're showing a little bit of a different look. Colombia says, you want to drop into a zone? Alex Mandel-Franco is a zone buster himself.
No doubt about it. Second goal of the game for Mandel-Franco. And Colombia's got to figure out, they start quarters tremendously well. They got to figure out how to sustain the start of their quarters throughout the course of the 8 minutes.
Like a shotgun blast. It
Right?
comes out, boom.
They got back-to-back goals to cut it to a 1-goal game. Chance to tie it up right here. Dodging to the right, getting free, going high. That's a game-tying goal from Blanchard to Inestrosa.
Joshua Blanchard Inestrosa.
He had 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points against Team USA earlier. He gets his first goal of the afternoon right here. 7-7. 3 straight from Colombia to open quarter number 2. Getting free Collins. Sends it back behind to X. Pomfret. Blocked. Picked up. Ground ball going the other way. Mendez slows it down.
Good defense by Colombia there. They matched up on all those cutters, and England just really didn't have any looks as they tried to feed from behind.
Settled possession here for Colombia. They've scored 3 straight. Blanchard, Inestrosa. Moves it over to Aguero. Young man, Aguero. Rips it wide. We talked about him earlier today. A high school junior was able to score against Team USA. Can only imagine what that moment meant for him.
A little miscommunication there by Colombia as 3 Colombian defenders attacked 1 British offensive player. That left a wide open Ben Page-Laycock.
First of the game for Page-Laycock puts Great Britain back in front 8-7. Page-Laycock had a hat trick early today against Puerto Rico.
I like how Colombia is really trying to stretch out this England defense, give themselves some room, and that room will create opportunities like that for Concannon.
What a finish, and Alex Concannon is into the hat trick party. His 3rd of the game.
Should have done a USA Lacrosse hat giveaway. You know, they could
Right?
make them rain every game in the sixes format. So fast, so much scoring.
We got to get you in touch with the marketing department. Try to make that happen. Moving screen.
Indeed, you called it right. Moving pick. That'll go the other way. No penalty, but change of possession. The goal is no good.
So back to Colombia with an opportunity to go in front. 8-8 game. Boy, this one's been entertaining.
This is the sixes, I think, that everyone's so excited about. There's these runs, and then there's the back and forth. There's a little bit of settled, a lot of fast transition. So this is the excitement that the Olympic Committee is trying to put into the games in 2028.
Nearly a turnover. Oh, I thought that was going to be a tough ground ball, but Sheedy not able to come away with it. Instead, indeed, Great Britain going the other way, shooting low and scoring Tommy Kirkland. Second of the game for Kirkland. Puts Great Britain back in front 9-8.
Tommy Kirkland.
And you
on
can
the goal
see the
for
parallels,
GB.
why it is that so many people within the sport compare sixes to basketball. And I would even add to it the back and forth nature of scoring, right? Like the in-field lacrosse, a goal can be such a massive moment during the course of the game. Here, it's like, okay, a goal, you just got to get up and go the other way. You don't even get a chance to celebrate it.
You got to play defense first, then you can celebrate. It's really only like the last.
Yeah, that was a tough decision. Carvajal didn't want to fully come out, and he pays the price as Hoons picks it up. And Hoons puts it home, his first of the game. Great Britain extends the lead to 10-8.
And 8 different goal scorers for those 10 goals. So they are showing the depth they have, the ability for everyone to push the pace and put goals in the back of the net.
Kincannon trying to dodge free to his left. Chose not to pull the trigger. That shot blocked on the way in. And it's going to go the other way. Transition chance picked up and put home by Bickerton. The scoop and the score.
And this is where, if I'm Colombia, I might take a timeout. Because every time they come back after huddling up, they score 2 or 3
Great point.
goals.
Does seem to change momentum a little bit. And wouldn't you know, look at Coach Belisle over here.
Timeout, Colombia.
Right in the mind of head coach Oscar Daniel Castillo Morales, who chooses to take the timeout. His team trailing 11-8, and Great Britain having scored the last 3 goals of the game. It's been entertaining. It's been a lot of fun, this start to our afternoon session. Just giving you an idea of what's ahead for us. Following this one, Great Britain and Colombia women will be up next at 4:45. Then tonight, U.S. and Puerto Rico men, both winners earlier today. They square off at 6 o'clock, and then the U.S. and Puerto Rico women coming up at 7:15. We'll have all of them for you right here on the USA Lacrosse YouTube channel. Thanks to everybody who's checked in with us. If you want to check in, I'm at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter. Mitch, you are?
At mbelisle85 on X.
Want to say anything? You can't get me to do it. I don't care. Unless I work for them, unless they pay me, I'm going to call it Twitter. This is going to be
All right.
his mama called him Twitter, I'm going to call him Twitter type of situation. That's the way it goes. I'm 41. I'm an old man. I don't change habits at this point in my life. But if you want to check in, say hello, let us know where you're watching from, and any interesting notes that you might know about these players.
Yeah, I got to imagine we've got some friends down in Colombia, a couple people across the pond tuning in, watching their family and friends playing. It's exciting. I got to meet a lot of families from England over at the World Lacrosse Box Championships as they competed.
Whew, what an effort, and paying the price after the goal. Mandel Franco. And wouldn't you know, out of the timeout, they go score a goal.
And they're probably going to score 2 more. I'm just going to go out and say it. They call timeouts. They come out. Something about the Colombian team rah-rah high five is a 2 to 3 goal bump every time.
Third goal of the match for Alex Mandel Franco. Cuts it to 11-9, 1:40 remaining here in the first half. You mentioned families. Ava Kalmer, the goalie for the Colombia women, we met her father in between games, and he was talking about how special it was for her to go up against some of her lacrosse idols. High school student getting to play against the best players in the world. Love hearing stories like that.
Yeah, it's such a unique opportunity the international game affords.
Stepping down at Case Swiddick with his first of the game.
Swiddick scored 2 in the first half against the United States. He was a surprise jumping out of the gate.
Yeah, speaking of high school students, a current high school senior, quick response back from Great Britain.
Is that Alex Russell's first goal?
It is indeed. To your point, we saw him score 3 and add 2 assists earlier today.
Yeah, he was their leading goal scorer, point scorer in that first game.
Gets his first right here. Cuts it to 12, or adds to it, making it 12-10. Aguero trying to spin back. Oh, cuts it right back. He got a big hit, but he scores.
I thought that was really good defense by Great Britain. They just gave him just enough room to roll back, and then he snuck that short side versus Jiaobang.
Just inside of the pipe. Oh, and what a check. Tabor gets it free, but they can't come up with the ground ball. They'll get it back now, however. Transition opportunity. One-on-one. Oh, and pulling the trigger from outside. And no card. Tabor scores. I thought the hit afterwards might have been worthy of a card. It wasn't. And that'll bring us to the half. Tabor's second goal of the game ties it back up at 12 apiece. The officials are chatting about something.
There was a shot at the very end of the shot clock.
Wow.
The buzzer beater.
Wow.
And that was Ryan Huns. And it was you saw him kind of put his hands up, and
I didn't think there was a chance in the world. They counted.
Really get another look at that, but it was kind of right. Seemed like almost everyone had stopped play because they thought the game.
I know a play-by-play guy that had stopped calling the play-by-play. Let's watch it one more time.
Oh, so yeah, they just feed it down low. He's wide open. He takes that shot.
13-12, Great Britain jumps back in front as we hit the half. We'll come back in with our first half highlights and get you ready for half number 2. You're watching the USA Lacrosse Experience.
When a child picks up a lacrosse stick, they welcome the wonder of something new. They gain a community and the lasting friendships it creates. At USA Lacrosse, we believe the sport is an opportunity for families to create a lasting connection and make memories that last a lifetime. Catch the fun and bring a friend to pick up and play during National Celebrate Lacrosse Week this November. Head to usalacrosse.com/celebrate lacrosse to find a clinic near you.
Every player knows the skills you learn on the field can be the foundation for anything you choose to do in life.
Thank you for connecting me to a greater community.
We're growing beyond goals on the field.
And our futures are united.
So thank you, Lacrosse.
For inspiring me to be me.
We are better,
safer,
and wiser together.
And we're building a stronger future
for everyone.
They could see themselves play, and then we can correct it and then bring those corrections to the field. That's every coach's dream.
Welcome back to the USA Lacrosse Experience at Carroll Stadium in beautiful IU, Indianapolis. We've got a great game so far. Great Britain scored the go-ahead goal with about 0.0 seconds left, a buzzer beater to end the half after Colombia thought they had tied it up, or I guess they had tied it up. But then they were able to put that one ahead. It has been a back-and-forth affair, a game of runs, as they say. Great Britain putting together a couple 3-goal runs before Colombia using a well-timed timeout to get back on the board.
You want to thank our broadcast partners for making our broadcast possible?
I do. This would not be possible without their support. So if you are here in Indianapolis, BB Bop Asian Grill is the spot you should hit. Or if you're into tacos, tequila, and margaritas, Condado Tacos is your spot. Penn Station East Coast Subs, they fed us this afternoon for our lunches, and then Taylor's Bakery in the morning for your coffee and your baked goods.
Well done, sir. Look at you. You're going to be look out, Anish Shroff. Look out. Might not have that job much longer. Let's take a look at our first half highlights It has been a wild one. 25 combined goals between these two teams. A couple of times where Great Britain was able to get some separation. They led by as many as 3. Colombia scored the first 2. But it's been a real seesaw affair for the entirety of these 16 minutes.
Yeah, no, like a lot of good ball movement and transition, pushing the pace, counter-striking on transition. And then what I think both teams have done a nice job is just one-on-one when they win their matchups, they're finding the back of the net, whether that's diving across like Lyndon Bunio or whether that's sweeping and then finding the one more pass. You can see a shovel shot there by Tommy Kirkland. But these are two teams that are doing a great job of what England talked about with their coaching staff with us is they're not shooting, they're finishing. And when they're in tight, they're finding ways to put the ball past the goalie without missing the cage.
For Great Britain, Drew Bickerton, 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Bunio with 2 goals. Humes with 2 goals and an assist for 3 points. For Colombia, Mandel Franco with a hat trick. Same for Kincannon and Tabor with 2 goals as well. In goal now for Great Britain, Willie Baxter plays for Poynton Lacrosse Club out of Manchester. And back into goal, Oscar Cifuentes, who we saw earlier today against Team USA, the veteran, back in the cage for Colombia to start the second half. It'll be Great Britain ball first, going left to right on your internet dial. They're not able to do anything with it, though, so Colombia gets it right back.
Colombia's looking for another one of those hot starts, whether it's coming out of the quarter breaks, coming out of timeouts. It just seems like every time they huddle up, they come out and they find ways to go on these mini runs.
Kincannon fake stepping down, tries to work inside. Oh, had that cut off. He had Aguero waiting at the doorstep, but Baxter able to intercept. In transition, Great Britain had a 3-on-2, but the shot whizzes wide as Humes had a good look.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him one more of that down. You mentioned it was a 3-on-2. I think Willie's shirt was down on that bottom right corner. If they had made that one more pass, both of the Colombian defenders had popped up towards him as he's now the leading scorer for this game.
Hidden ball trick here for Colombia. Doesn't get anybody to bite. Blanchard and Estrosa. Now works back to the near side, and Aguero. Aguero dodging left, gets free in front. Great save by Baxter. Baxter played 1 half against Puerto Rico, allowed 9 goals, made 8 saves. Very nice save here early in the second half. Ground ball.
That was a big one. Those alley dodges are so hard. You want to get low because guys are so good at pulling that low, but all the times Britain has gone down the wings, they've tried to shoot that high that is finished on Jobang, but there Baxter able to stay high, stay with the shooter, and keep it out of the net.
Corcel gives it to Tabor. He keeps it moving. Oh, what a rip. Sheedy. And we are tied again, 13 apiece, as Sheedy scores for the first time this afternoon. Colombia continues to answer. Great back and forth affair. Inside. Now dodging back to his right, Collins. That hits the turf, and it's going to go the other way.
Tried to force that into Mills Doig, who just couldn't quite handle it. They were just a little bit too close together there. Spacing is just paramount in this. You got to move, but you got to keep your spacing and the integrity of your shape. And I think that's something that these newer teams are just trying to figure out together, whereas the U.S. team has a good sense of that through their play together in the PLL and some of those different opportunities. And there's another rip there.
Colombia back in front, 14-13. And the young man, Aguero, with 2 now, making the most of this opportunity on a global stage. By the way, that previous defensive possession, tough ground ball for Juan Fernando Bojorquez. We were talking earlier off the air, is that pass too high for Tommy Kirkland? And a turnover for Great Britain. Bojorquez, a Bogota native, came to play at the Illinois Institute of Technology. Played there for 4 years, scoring 9 goals at Illinois Tech.
Just a state over from where we sit today here in Indiana.
I thought Sheedy was going to get that on the bounce. Good job by Baxter to turn that aside.
Baxter really seems to have given Great Britain a bump, and it hasn't showed in the scores sheet because their offense hasn't been able to capitalize, but he's made some big saves and some plays out of the cage already that have been helpful.
Prescott gets free, buries it.
Will Prescott.
First of the day for Will Prescott. He had a goal against Puerto Rico earlier. From London, plays for Spencer Lacrosse Club. And we are tied again, 14 apiece.
One of the few from South England.
Yeah.
Most of these players hailing from Manchester. Is another rip by Concannon. Paints that lower left corner. But one Welsh player on this team, but primarily kind of in that North England, Manchester area.
Number 4 on the game for Concannon. Number 6 on the day. Colombia back in front, 15-14, and they get the ball back. Boy, really showing and acquitting themselves well. Now, wait, after some discussion, they're bringing everybody back down here. Guess they're saying it was tipped.
A little bit of confusion there as everyone was set up on that far side, but
I believe I saw the signal that it was tipped. So Great Britain retains possession. Really quite impressed by Colombia. Oh, down in front, but the block.
What a save there. And that was a beautiful skip look, almost the alley-oop there.
Rosser denied by Cifuentes.
Cifuentes coming up huge.
We talk about how they played in the first quarter against Team USA, battling them. They only trailed 5-4. The way they played in this one, I think that you've got to be thrilled if you're a Columbia lacrosse fan about how your team has acquitted itself at this event.
Absolutely. They've come out and, this is a Great Britain team that at the World Games, they just missed third by a goal in overtime to Japan. So this is a group that feels really good. Theoretically, one of the top 5 teams in the world, and Colombia has been able to come back, and they just seem to find ways to rally despite things looking bleak. When there's a 3 or 4 goal run, they'll find ways to get a stop. They regroup, and they get a couple points, and they are now leading this game 15-14, and that's, I would say, largely based on their winning one-on-one matchups. That seems to be the difference for this Colombian team. Great Britain, when they were moving the ball and finding the one more pass, they were having success. So they need to get back to being spaced out, continually cutting to find open lanes, and then passing the ball while they're moving with their feet. A couple times guys have been shopping, looking for a pass, but they're just stationary. When you do that, it's easy to stay on the gloves and just lock off everywhere else. So I want to see more movement with the ball and then more effective movement off ball.
Great Britain will have 1 timeout remaining here in the second half. 2:29 to play in the third quarter. Trailing 15-14. He is former Cornell, Boston Cannons legend, Mitch Belisle. I am winner of multiple backyard cornhole tournaments, Glenn Clark.
Hey, that's a league now. You could go big time there.
Speaking of big time, Ryan Hoons has been big time today. He drops in his 3rd.
And here's the press by England. We saw that they like to throw this every now and then, and we can see it right here as they successfully press to get the ball back, but it's squirts away.
And the BT Beer coming up with the ground ball and going right to the cage. Corsell with his first of the game. Colombia back in front. Boy, Great Britain did everything right there defensively to get that ball back and still had nothing to show for it as Colombia scored anyway.
What a behind the back there for Corsell. He wins that loose ball. You see here he's got 2 on him, and that's an example of when to use the behind the back in lacrosse. You'll have coaches that say don't use it. It works really well if you have a defender in front of you or if you're losing your angle to get your stick back towards the middle of the cage. That was an example. He was losing angle, whipped his stick around, was able to find the back of the net.
Yeah, create the angle with that more of a defensive midi. That's the more impressive part. Corsell, not much of a goal scorer. It's his first goal of the tournament. In his career at Marquette, he scored 1 total goal. He's matched that today.
Sixes will do that. Make a star out of the best short stick defensive midfielder.
A great find in front, but Cifuentes able to deny Will Prescott.
The fours on Great Britain, the fours on Colombia, battling back and forth. Who is the better wearer of numeral 4?
Ooh, 1-4 to rule them all. Just over a minute remaining. And Baxter comes out to meet that one and deny Mandel Franco. Transition opportunity, getting free in front and delivering, Paige Laycock.
And I saw him play a lot this past fall at the World Lacrosse Box Championships, and that's just an example of he's such a dynamic player. He's not going to beat you with a quick, hard jab step, but he will get underneath and come across, and he does that so well in the box game, and see how it translates to the sixes game right there.
Trying to get free, Aguero, the young man, the high school student, having a nice day. That shot not particularly close, but apparently Baxter got a piece of it.
Yeah, that's the only reason it wasn't close. Baxter knocked it away, and the clock will still run. Columbia's going to have to get there quick if they want to get a look.
Yeah, clock is running. 10 seconds. Got to go. Somebody's got to be barking that out. And Aguero's being told he's got to go to the corner. Will they even get a chance here? 5 seconds, and they're not going to get anything out of this. That's how the third quarter comes to a close. What a game this has been. Dare I say so far, the game of the weekend. We go to quarter number 4. Colombia, Great Britain knotted up at 16 here at the USA Lacrosse Experience.
Sometimes it's not the moment. It's the moment before the moment. The moment you make a choice. The moment you take control. The moment only you can own. Gainbridge lets you invest on your terms. So you're not only in charge of this moment, but all the moments to come. Start investing now at Gainbridge.io.
Head to quarter number 4, tied up 16 apiece between Colombia and Great Britain. What a game this one has been. Glenn Clark, Mitch Bilal with you here at Carroll Stadium, IU Indianapolis, the USA Lacrosse Experience. Teams switch sides. Which team have we learned more about so far?
I think the big thing here for me is Great Britain, when they are on, they're just on. They when they play together and they have good spacing. I think a big piece for Great Britain is their timing. They just need to get their spacing and their timing down. And when they do that, it's a thing of beauty. And then when they don't, they seem to lose offensive opportunities. For Colombia, it's one-on-one matchups. They're able to beat their man one-on-one and score. They're athletic. They're physical. And I think that's good. Defensively, I still would like to see more of the full court press by England because it has seemed to work when they take that full court press mentality. We'll see if they enact that at all in this fourth quarter as it's getting hot, but it's their last game of the day, right? So let it all hang out.
Yep, exactly right. Rosser not able to connect. Another good shot opportunity, though, off a face-off win. It's one of the big stories to me about the sixes format in general.
Only 3 of them, right?
Correct.
Unless you go to overtime or you have some inadvertent whistle situation, but there's only the first, second.
Well, I guess 4.
Third.
Yeah, 4. 1 each quarter. Back behind, Great Britain trying to get back in front. Bickerton from X feeds it up top. Collins. And good work into the middle, but a great extension of the defense as Bickerton wasn't able to get the dunk attempt.
Yeah, that was good spacing, good movement. They found Bickerton right inside, but just a nice save by Cifuentes.
Colombia will slow it down, settle up a bit. It's been a frenetic pace for much of this one. And just bulldodging his way in front, but not able to get it to go. Blanchard Inestrosa.
Tried for the old twister there.
Oh, a rifle. Bickerton, third of the game. Great Britain goes back in front, 17-16.
He'd also dished out 3 assists in the first half alone, so he's sitting at 6 points right now.
Stuffing the stat sheet. And a big rip from Mandel Franco turned aside, but it'll stay with Colombia. Billy Baxter has been impressive in cage in the second half.
Yeah, fixed his helmet there. That one rang right off the face.
And he'll come up with that one, denying Tabor. Outlet pass. Cifuentes able to stop it, but he couldn't find the ball. He's way out of position. Behind the back. Oh, no!
Save of the day right there, Glenn.
Hoons thought he had a wide open cage to go behind the back. Cifuentes skies right back into the picture.
And wow! We were talking about when it makes sense to throw behind the back. I don't think that was one of them. I think if he put that in forehand, that's going in, but he goes behind the back and Cifuentes dives across.
The one benefit I'll give him is he was definitely going away from his strong hand, and here the response on the other end from Colombia. What a turn of events, and that one not finished. Aguero gets his third of the game. I want to go back to that decision from Hoons. It felt like he was going away from his strong hand, and I didn't think it was a bad decision to go behind the back because I thought it might have sort of slowed him down to come back and try to hammer it. Phew.
I just thought Cifuentes was behind him. Here it is. So I thought, it looked like he had the wide open net if Cifuentes was behind him.
There was more room.
But because he went around behind the head, so it went back towards. Hey, you know what? I can't throw behind the back in the game, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, that was a beautiful save by Cifuentes.
Unbelievable. 17-17.
Oh, what a handle there by Paige Laycock.
Great
and he
find
it.
And the finish. Third of the game for Paige Laycock. Great Britain back in front. 18-17. Got to get rid of it. Cifuentes is about to run out of time. They turn it over on the clear. Ball's back out on the turf. Big ground ball from Russell.
We got a penalty here for, I think that was a slash.
Again, Great Britain goes to that. Full court press. It pays off. Ben Paige Laycock drops the bomb.
But that's going to be a major penalty. So the call is going to stand. That's a yellow card, which means it's a 1-minute major penalty. So the penalty still will take place. The goal is going to be good.
These are big moments right now. Great Britain extends the lead to 19-17 and will have the ball man up. Colombia's got to dig deep here.
You know what they need here, Glenn? They need a timeout. They need to bring the boys together.
Does seem to work for them. If they can get the stop, it might be the perfect time. And that's deflected wide. Still plenty of time for Great Britain. And rifled wide, so they will not capitalize. Hoon's shot not on target. With 38 seconds remaining on the penalty, you would think that Colombia would still, even with the clock running, prioritize running time off the clock here, or running time off the penalty here.
Especially with the 2-goal game. Yeah, you've got plenty of time to get your full complement on once that penalty's over.
They get the big defensive stop they needed. Can they follow it up? Aguero feeds it in front. Oh, off the pipe for Tiest.
I think that was the big right peck.
Oh, you think it? Okay.
Of William Baxter. Chest save, the thwack I heard. I know that sound.
Then it hurt. It hurt for sure.
But you know what? That's a big save right there, so it might not have hurt so bad.
That's a good point. Hurts
less.
We see
the skip and the shot. It bounces out, and that's going to stay Colombia ball.
Only 3 seconds remaining on the penalty.
And we've got a penalty here for Great Britain. We'll see how many. It's a green card, which is a minor penalty, 30 seconds. So 3 seconds until the Colombia. There it is. There's the timeout.
Look at you.
The all-powerful timeout for Colombia.
That's their first timeout of the second half. Rosser serving the 30-second penalty. Colombia will be even strength for 3 seconds, playing 4-on-4, and then their penalty will come up and they will be man up for the next 27 seconds out of the timeout. 3:20 remaining, and it would feel pretty critical that they convert man up in this spot in order to get this back to a 1-goal game, not give both the 2-goal advantage and the momentum of a penalty kill back the other way for Great Britain.
Yeah, with that, I'm wondering, do you try for a quick strike, score, and then press because you know you have
the extra man?
Try to get the 2-for-1 there, but at the same time, if you try for a quick strike and they get the ball back, they're going to be able to kill most of the penalty. So I anticipate they're probably going to let that 3 seconds run off, get into their 5-on-4, try to make something happen. But as our producer Jordan just said, how big is that goal at the end of the quarter, which seemed kind of like a throwaway. We're like, did it really happen? It didn't have, it counted.
Yep,
but those are the kind of goals that you look back and say, that might have been a big turning point.
Difference between this being a 1-goal and a 2-goal game here late. So the penalty is up. Man-up opportunity here for Colombia out of the timeout. They've been really good out of timeouts today. Stepping down, and there's another goal out of a timeout. What is it that they're doing in these magical timeouts?
Sprinkle some dust, some fairy dust.
4th of the day for Mandel Franco. The man-up tally brings it back to a 1-goal game. 19-18. And
I think we've got a little discrepancy. We've got a green card on Great Britain, it appears. And I don't know, you know what the situation is?
They stand down here, so it can't be a green card.
I believe they released Colombia early. Yeah, because the in-home is going, so there was some kind of infraction with the release of that penalty, so he's going to go right back to the box for 30 seconds.
Green card issued to Colombia.
So man-up opportunity here for Great Britain. Thrown away. Yes, indeed.
Bunio was wide open on that back door. I think he tried to finish it before he caught it.
Case Swiddick was hit with the green card. 19-18, Colombia gets it back. They got to kill off.
What a can opener there to win that ball back by Lyndon Bunio. He dropped it on the man-up opportunity and then earns it back on the ride. That's what you love to see. It's when players make mistakes, instead of hanging their heads, go out and you earn the next one back.
Back to even strength. Feed towards the middle. Bickerton decides just to pull it down and keep working the offense. Up top, Russell.
2 minutes to go.
Paige Laycock. Under 2 minutes remaining. Good feed in front. Turning around and delivering. Alex Russell decided not to take the first shot and create a better look. His second goal of the game, a big one. It's 20-18.
You could just see that coming. He had his defender isolated one-on-one. You knew if he rolled back, he would have space, and just a nice job by Alex Russell to make that happen.
Every possession absolutely critical now for Colombia. Aguero gets free, denied by Baxter. Baxter loses it. Oh, but he makes another save. Corcel did an incredibly good job of getting that ball back.
And there's still time with the 30-second shot clock.
Yeah, I think you got to stretch out now, down by 2. You're putting yourself in a position where they get 2 possessions to run 30 seconds off. It's really hard to score 2 goals in 16 seconds or whatever the difference in the math would be, and now it's almost impossible.
Well, this is where this is going to be crucial for teams to work on their press ride in this exact situation, because you need to score and then you need to get the ball back. Colombia is going to take their second time out of the half. That's probably exactly what they're going to talk about. Is, hey, we got to score, but most importantly, after we score, we need this ball back.
Immediately. Pomfret does get the goal that might put it on ice for Great Britain. We'll see. Colombia has been great out of timeouts today, but they're going to need the greatest out of timeout 50 seconds they've ever come up with.
This is a 3-goal, 50-second 3-goal timeout explosion they're coming up with. They're drawing it up on the board. It's a goal. It's a turnover on the ride. It's another goal.
It's another turnover on the ride and another goal.
You know what? I think you could go.
They should. I would say that in general, teams should call that play more often.
I think they should do. They should go goal, turnover goal. Let Britain get down, save, last-second goal. That's what I want to see.
Is there enough time for that?
There's enough time.
I think
10, 12 seconds, you bring that to 38. You get Britain one more possession. That's just enough time for fireworks. And the whole country of Colombia going absolutely bananas down there south of the equator.
You see Oscar Daniel Castillo Morales, what his commands were. Whatever happens here, he's got to be proud of his team's effort. Aguero trying to get free. He's got to let it rip. Baxter's been great in the second half. And if that last goal didn't do it, you'd presume that does. Although Baxter well out, and they can defend him out there. That's exactly what they do. Cifuentes comes and then kicks it free to get it back. Lobs it downfield. And no, a good chance for TS. He doesn't score.
And Baxter, a little athleticism out of his cage. And Cifuentes says, I can do that too. He jumps out, makes a nice play on it.
Well, and I feel like goalies, this is, like we talk about the comparison between sixes and other sports. I think goalies in lacrosse are so used to needing to be on their line unless they're running out to help in a clear. I think you're going to need to see more of that with these transition opportunities. You're going to have to come out and take care of that yourself, much like soccer goalies have to do regularly.
Yeah, especially with the pressure and the press ride. You're going to have to do some things, maybe set some picks. Work to get your teammates open, draw some pressure to you so you can then dump it off to a teammate.
Give credit to Great Britain. They were nails here in the fourth quarter. When everything was at stake, they got the job done. And Great Britain will pick up their first win here at the USA Lacrosse Experience. Clock will stop one more time as...
Yeah, you look back to the beginning of the third quarter. Colombia scored 2 goals, and then every time Colombia scored, Great Britain would answer with 2 goals. So it was 1 goal for Colombia, 2 for Great Britain. 1 goal for Colombia, 2 for Great Britain. So that's where that kind of like 2 for 1, you chip away, you chip away, you chip away. And that is a huge win for Great Britain there.
21-18, Great Britain defeats Colombia. The British lacrosse improves to 1-1 here at the USA Lacrosse Experience. Colombia falls to 0-2. But I don't think there's anything for Colombia to hang their head about. I think this was an outstanding performance for a program that is trying to find their way into the higher echelon, getting a chance to qualify for the Olympics. I think they're going to feel really good about their performance against a big-time program in Great Britain.
Absolutely. I think defensively, they've got a lot to be proud of. Goaltending-wise, they look great from both of their goalies so far today. The big thing is, offensively, I just want to see a little bit more spacing and timing with their offense. And I think that'll come with more training and more opportunities to compete in sixes. They were excellent one-on-one. Now they got to work on the 2-man game. They got to work on swinging the ball through X and transferring from rights to lefts. But I couldn't be more excited for their future and tomorrow's game to watch them compete.
4 goals and an assist for Ben Page Laycock in the victory. In the second half, Willie Baxter, 11 saves. Massive in allowing Great Britain to hang on in this one. In the losing effort, Alex Mandel-Franco had 4 goals. Alex Kincannon had 4 as well, just not quite enough for Team Colombia. We're going to take a break. When we come back in, next up, same countries. The women's side, Great Britain and Colombia at 4:45. That'll be our next game. Again, your final score from this one, Great Britain 21, Colombia 18. You're watching the USA Lacrosse Experience.